Hello, Coach.
Hi.
Alejandro from Outkick.com. So going back to the situation in Minneapolis and some of the comments that were made there. So I know you had mentioned that, ICE isn't rooting out violent criminals, but is instead taking 5-year-olds. Since we know that ICE has indeed arrested violent criminals, and perhaps some of those statements could be seen as misinformed or possibly divisive, what would you say to that?
You're right. I definitely misspoke, and I knew that ICE was arresting some criminals, and I think I immediately regretted it because I knew that to be the case. But my point is that they're also arresting people and detaining citizens and people who should not be being detained, and the manner in which they're doing it, and as you see, is riling everybody up all over the country. And being in Minneapolis for those 4 days was incredibly emotional and powerful, and it was a very difficult time for all of us. So we. Yeah, at the end of those 4 days, pretty emotional time. I misspoke, and so I apologize for the misinformation. So I hope everybody else out there who's saying stuff that's not true, please apologize too. All right, let's talk about basketball.
You did highlight that
No. I addressed everything I wanted to address in Minneapolis, but I am glad you said that because that was false, what I said, and so I want to correct that for the record. So thank you.
How is Kuminga doing with the knee injury?
I don't know. Yeah, we had yesterday off, and I just got into the facility just now. So
with starting Al when he's available, what is the thinking behind that, and is that something that you want to continue to see through?
Yeah, we're going to keep doing it now that he's got a higher minutes limit, up to 24. We feel like we can start him and still finish with him, still play him throughout the game. And it gives us, obviously, a lot of size. And he and Draymond are a really good defensive tandem, so we'll keep doing it.
The second unit sort of closed out Utah in that game, that last game. Just what have you made of the second unit since Butler's been out, and what have you liked from the second unit?
Well, we've played, I think, 4 or 5 games without Jimmy at this stage, so we're still finding our way. But we have a lot of depth, and playing the number of people we are, we feel very confident and comfortable with our depth, and with whoever we put out there, it's really going to be, making sure we've got the right combinations out there, because we've been used to putting those guys with Jimmy in the second unit. So right now we're kind of, using Melt and BP as our playmakers, and trying to build the right lineups around them.
Steve, the Pistons have obviously taken a significant step forward. What do you see as the biggest challenge going against them tonight? And specifically, I'm curious about Cunningham, and he's leading the league in assists by like a full assist. Like, he's well ahead. I mean, what obstacles does he present dealing with him?
He's awesome. He reminds me of, Luka, James Harden, just kind of a one-man offense, running everything through him. He's so big and strong. He's able to just dominate possessions, find the right person to get the ball to. And there's such a big physical front line. He's got lob threats in the pick and roll. So Cade is awesome. He's a great player, really coming into his own, and we've got a big challenge tonight.
Steve, over here. Hey, Steve. Over the last few games, Moses is shooting over 50% from three. It seems like he's refound his shooting strokes. Kind of curious, do you see that as a product of, is it just shooting variance, or is there the quality of shots he's taking? Is that improved? Just kind of what are you seeing from him recently when it comes to
shooting? Is something that's always going to be up and down for every player, during the season. And he did go through an extended stretch before, maybe, for a few weeks where he wasn't hitting at his normal clip, and he's obviously found his stroke recently. I just think he's been aggressive. I think he's been active on both ends of the floor, which tends to make shots go in for whatever reason, and he's playing really well. So, I'm really happy with Moses' play and, what he's giving us.
Coach, with the trade deadline coming shortly, do you worry or feel angst among your players, and as somebody who's been a player and been a coach for a while, is there anything that you feel like you have to say to the guys, or is it so out of your control that just
I don't really say anything to the whole group, but I usually pull individual guys aside if I know their names are out there and just check in with them. There's nothing you can really do. I mean, and the players, especially the older guys, they understand that this is kind of part of the deal that you sign up for. But it doesn't make it any easier. I got traded 5 times in my career, twice when my kids were in school. It's really hard. So, I'll check in with them individually as that stuff comes up. And as the rumors really heat up, it's really, it's really tricky. It's not easy for them.
do you ever get traded at the deadline?
I'm sorry?
Do you ever get traded at the deadline?
No, I didn't. I got traded in December one time. Otherwise, I was always in the off season.
What do you recall from the December trade? How it affected you?
Well, my son Nick was 3 weeks old, and Margot and Nick and I lived in the Orlando Marriott for 3 weeks together. It was, it's just a beautiful time. Really got close during those 3 weeks. So. Literally, not so much figuratively. We were at each other's throats, I think.
Steve, starting Al next to Draymond obviously allows Draymond to start at the 4 instead of the 5. Just what can you say as far as them as a defensive tandem? 3 block shots from Al last game. How pleased have you been with him as a rim protector still at 39 years old? And do you kind of feel like a defensive identity is what you want to lean into, especially with Jimmy gone now?
Yeah, I mean, Draymond is so good as a center fielder. He's also so good as a 5. What makes Al special is that he can allow Draymond to roam and play the 4, guard, maybe even a point guard if we want. And Al can protect the rim. But on the offensive side, Al just stretches the floor. He steps out to the perimeter. And we can still put Draymond in pick and roll. And so Al gives us a ton of versatility. And the fact that he's healthy and playing more minutes and in a good groove, I mentioned this last week on the trip, between Al and Melt, and those 2 guys have really changed our team.